Hi there, a very good morning to all our viewers who've tuned in live this Friday morning in this edition of Newspresso with me, Stacy Pereira. And as the drill goes, in the next few minutes, we're going to be giving you a lowdown of all the top stories from across the globe, insights into India, as well as the latest trends that are doing the round, which will give you an edge and keep you informed ahead of the others. So let's get straight to it and bring you all that we're getting from our global dispatch. And quite a positive handover, we could say, that came in from Wall Street, with the Dow Jones really rallying the most in over a month, up by 300 points to close up by about close to a percentage. Now, it was the blue chip average best day since August 7th. The S&P 500 and the Nasdaq too traded with close to 0.8% of gains. Investors are also digesting the raft of economic reports that have been coming in. The August producer price index that came in yesterday showed that PPI has come in line with expectations. However, headline numbers rose by 0.7%, more than what was expected of that 0.4% increase. Now, on the other hand, the August retail sales came in better than expected, jumping on by 0.6% against the 0.1%. And also look at Europe, where traders are really not Europe. Before we get to Europe, let's tell you about the big IPO that we saw on Nasdaq. Yes, traders, they're clearly cheering the revival of Wall Street's IPO market. All of that because of SoftBank-backed ARM IPOs. Shares of ARM listed by about 16% premium, with the chip design company's stock ending the day close to about 25% of gains. Now, ARM's initial public offering was priced at $51 a share, and the stock really closing at $63.59 a share. Now, the successful IPO of ARM certainly helped investors' confidence and also could kickstart that sleepy IPO market in the US. And now let's look at Europe, where the stocks did close higher on Thursday as investors in the region are assessing that European Central Bank's decision to hike its interest rates once again. The Pan-European Stock 600 Index, that one ended by about 1.52% higher. The basic resources sector was the one that was up and about 4.2% higher in trade. This on the back of China's central bank also announcing that it would cut the reserve requirement ratio, or RRR, of most banks by 25 basis points from September 15th onwards, this being the latest move to gradually boost the shuttering economy in China. Now, in stock-specific action in the Euro region, we did see the auto stocks, which were in focus after it saw some bit of selling pressure as that initial optimism over EU's probe into Chinese electric vehicle subsidies soured over fears of retaliation from the Chinese. Now, China has gone on to accuse the European Union of blatant protectionism by this. But more on the central bank's decision, where we saw the ECB has gone ahead and opted to increase rates by another 25 basis points, this being the 10th consecutive hike, taking the main rates to about 4%. The rate was at a 0.5% in June of 2022. And with this hike, it takes that interest rate in the Euro region to a record level as the bank tries to put and tackle inflation ahead of bolstering its weakening economy. Let's listen into what Christine Lagarde had to say.
Based on our current assessment, so it is based on all the data, the numbers, the analysis, the assessment, the projections, and any other information that we have available, we consider that the key ECB interest rates have reached levels, note levels, that, maintained for sufficient long duration, so there is the time element that comes up, will make a substantial contribution, those are heavy words, to the timely return of inflation to our target.
Let's also take you across what's happening in the Asia-Pacific region, where markets have opened slightly higher, we can say, in anticipation for the economic data that we're waiting out of China. This could give us clues as to the trajectory of what the world's second largest economy is going to be doing. Hong Kong's Hang Seng Index has fallen a bit marginally on open, whereas the mainland Chinese indices, those ones are trading with slight gains. The CSI 300 inching up by just about 0.19%. Japan's Nikkei 225 too has climbed by about close to 1% ahead, mostly aided by shares of SoftBank, which really traded higher after that ARM IPO. Now, we're also seeing a surge in Australia, where the S&P ASX 200 has risen by about 1.6%, whereas all of this is really based on what we are going to get to see from China. Now, China is expected to release its August data for house prices, unemployment rate, as well as the retail sales, and also the urban investment rate. So all of that data is clearly going to be watched out for. Let's also take a look at commodities and how those are trading. If you look at crude oil prices, those ones continue their uptrend. Brent crude prices, in fact, popped by about 2% overnight in trade to almost touch that $94 per barrel mark. Even the US crude topped by about $90 per barrel mark. This is the highest it has seen since November of 2022. Now, this comes in the back of the International Energy Agency in its monthly report, went on to point out how supply cuts by Saudi as well as Russia could result in that substantial market deficit for the rest of 2023. So we are looking at oil prices now trading well above that 93 per dollar barrel mark, at least Brent crude for that matter. Let's also look at other macro clues where we saw a rating agency, Fitch, which has gone ahead and revised the global growth forecast for the year to about 2.5% in its latest outlook. Now, earlier the outlook was at 2.4%, where it saw world growth. Now, Fitch highlighted that US, Japan and other emerging markets have shown surprising resilience so far this year. And however, they have warned that deepening slump in China's property market may cast a shadow on the overall global economy. As for India, they say the growth forecast for FY24 has been retained at 6.3%, and Fitch has said that the Indian economy continues to show resilience despite tighter monetary policy and a weakness in exports. However, it has also gone ahead to flag off risk from inflation front. And a quick recap of what markets and how they performed back here yesterday. We did see markets post another record close, even as gains remain quite limited. The Nifty ending above that 20,100 mark for the first time ever, while the Sensex hitting that intraday record high of 67,771, but to finally settle just over 50 points higher. Now, the rally was led by Reliance, Infosys and a couple of metal stocks that we saw really push the indices higher. Mid-cap index too extending its previous session gains to outperform these blue chips. We also saw IT stocks rise, tracking those gains that we saw in Nasdaq. Tech Mahindra touching its 52-week high. Also, there was a spotlight on sugar stocks, which were in focus after brokerages initiated buy calls on a couple of those stocks. And among the stocks that you need to be keeping on your radar today, there's GMM Pfaudler, which has gone ahead and acquired the professional mixing equipment MixPro for about $7 million. There's also Cognizant on the back of that income tax appellate tribunal order not really going in its favor, so we might see some pressure there. There's also Bharat Forge, which has gone ahead and signed a strategic partnership with UAE's Paramount. This is to produce a wider range of armored vehicles in India. And there could also be some action in Alchem Laboratories, which may come under pressure as the Income Tax Department is conducting a survey of some of the company's offices and subsidiaries. So these are the stocks that you need to be watching out and keeping on your radar. There are a couple of them also that we're going to see some action in the primary market, so do look out for that. Well, moving on then to the corporate side of things, where we did see Adani Group of stocks quite a buzz in yesterday's trade, and this was on the back of Adani Global Singapore, which is a step down wholly owned subsidiary of Adani Enterprise, which went on to announce a 50-50 joint venture with Kowa Holdings Asia for sales and marketing of their green ammonia and green hydrogen as well as its derivatives. Now, the JV will concentrate on marketing of products in Japan, Taiwan as well as Hawaii. And Adani New Industries Limited is going ahead and developing an end-to-end solution to produce globally competitive green hydrogen. Now, the first project we are given to understand will be that of 1 million metric tons per annum, and the project is being implemented in Gujarat, the initial phase of which is expected to start production by FY27. Now, in a bid to expand its domestic footprint, we're seeing Mastercard India has gone ahead and appointed former State Bank of India chairman Rajnish Kumar as its chairman. Now, the company said that Kumar will be guiding Mastercard's South Asia executive leadership team, which is led by Gautam Agarwal, the division president for South Asia, as well as the CCO in India. He will also help forge strategic partnerships in the payment ecosystem. Kumar, remember, has previously served at the boards of BharatPe as well as Byju's, and this is the second SBI chief in the recent past who will be on a board of an MNC. Now, people on social media have been all riled up after an audio clip of a cop joking about the death of an Indian student in Seattle in the US has now gone viral. Now, earlier this year, we are told that the 23-year-old Indian student named Janvi Kandula was killed by a police vehicle in the US in Seattle. As part of the investigation, an audio clip of the tragic incident has come to light. The clip from the officer's body camera has recorded this conversation between two cops from the Seattle Police Department, where an officer is heard saying that the 23-year-old's life had limited value and that the city should just write a check instead. The clip has not only caused a stir on Twitter and other social media platforms, but has also outraged the Indian community that is abroad on various social media platforms. And well, we are yet to see any kind of action being taken in that case. And remember, this has happened way back in January. And now, through the investigation, is when we are seeing these audio clips that are surfacing. I'm leaving you here with a snippet of that audio clip that is now being widely circulated. Take a listen.
I think she went up on the hood, hit the windshield. Then when he hit the brakes, flew off the car. But she is dead. Yeah, just write a check. Just, yeah, $11,000. She was 26 anyway. She had limited value.
Well, that audio definitely causing quite a stir, not just on social media, with also that hashtag Justice for Janvi really trending now. But moving on then, well, we all know how tough it is to get a fitness routine going. Yes, I'm talking about it on a Friday, but it's more so difficult for politicians who are always on the go. But 68-year-old Mamata Banerjee begs to differ, and you may ask why. That's because clad in her usual traditional sari and slippers, the West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee embarked on a morning jog in a park in Spain's Madrid while she was there on an official tour. She went on to post the video of the same on x.com with a caption that read, "Stay fit, stay healthy. A nice jog can energize you for the day ahead." Well, the internet, though, has been marveling at the choice of attire that she chose, a sari and slippers, as she strode to the park. Well, after that, that also led to a debate as to how fit or how we really need to be getting out. Another video also surfaced where we saw Banerjee this time around she was showcasing her musical prowess, we could say, and playing a tune on the accordion in the same park. Well, she captained that short clip, "Music is forever, music should grow and mature with you, following you right up until your death." Well, that was quite interesting to see how she really transformed from here to there. Take a listen of what she did. Well, the many avatars that we get to see of our politicians up and running. Well, moving on then, a luxury cruise this time around, a ship which is carrying 206 passengers on board has got stuck in a remote region in the Arctic Ocean. This has happened since the 11th of September. Now, the ship had got grounded near the northwestern part of Greenland after it touched the ground towards the shallow part of the sea. But what makes it worse is that 3 people on board this same cruise liner have now tested positive for COVID-19, though rescue operations are underway. The cruise, which is operated by Aurora Expeditions, said that all passengers as well as the crew are safe as of now, and they are being taken care of with no immediate danger to themselves or the vessel or the surrounding areas. Though the reason for the accident is yet unknown, the cruise liner Ocean Explorer may be able to re-afloat itself in the Arctic during a high tide. So they're really waiting for that high tide to actually give that push and see that cruise line back on the shores. Now, if you're a 90s kid, I'm sure you spent a lot of your childhood watching cartoons and TV shows. Well, I did too. And why I'm really taking you down this memory lane is because one of those popular game shows is making a comeback. I'm talking about Takeshi Castle, which is now getting a new reboot. The show will be making a comeback on Amazon Prime Video with YouTuber and actor Bhuvan Bam replacing the legendary commentary that was given by Jaaved Jaaferi, who viewers really in India were hooked on to the show back in the 2000s. Now, Prime Video as well as Bam made this announcement on social media, sending fans of both the show as well as the YouTube sensation into a frenzy. Bam will be narrating the show as a Tittu Mama, the one that he keeps the recurring appearance that we see in his YouTube videos. So we're going to see a new avatar of Takeshi's Castle, and that's really something that we're looking forward to. Amazon Prime bringing this 90s TV show or game show back to the viewers. Well, also let's get you up to speed with all that you need to be looking out for today. Now, in the primary markets, like I told you, there's a lot of action that is happening today. We're going to see a big IPO, that of Yatra Online. That IPO opens today, and the company set a price band of about 135 to 142 rupees per equity share. And we'll also be seeing this list sometime around September 29th, we're being told. There's also Celicor Gadgets. That is the second IPO that you will see today. So a lot of action in the primary market you can be looking forward to. And for auto enthusiasts, Mercedes-Benz will be launching its third EV, the Mercedes EQE electric SUV. This is the first one in the SUV segment and also the third in its India lineup of EVs. The EQE is estimated to be priced somewhere around 70 to 90 lakh rupees. So if you are into luxury automobiles, this could be something that you could be looking out for. And also, let me tell you the latest update that we're getting from Aditya L1. Well, ISRO has successfully managed to complete that crucial maneuver today. This was the fourth earthbound maneuver of the Aditya L1, which took place at around 2 a.m. this morning. And the next maneuver, we are being told, which is the Trans-Lagrangian point insertion, which will be scheduled for 2 a.m. on September 19th. So that is something, if you are somebody who has been following what all ISRO is up to, this is something that you need to be looking out for. Well, with that, it's a wrap, and hope this dose of Newspresso was useful, informative, and gives you that kick start to your day. It is a Friday, and we have a lot packed up that you can unfold during the weekend. But don't forget to come back here Monday morning, same place, same time, for your fresh shot of Newspresso. From all of us who put this show together, thanks so much for tuning in.
How do world leaders view India?
I've long believed that the relationship between the United States and India is will be one of the defining relationships of the 21st century.
The bright spot of the global economy.
The growth rate for India, which is 6.8 in 2022. Let's not forget, this is one of the bright spots in the global economy right now, such a high growth rate.
The potential of India is enormous, and you have now a reformer, a radical reformer, who has the ability to transform it.
On the verge of a big transformation.
इस अमृत काल में हमारे संकल्पों की सिद्धि हमें आजादी के 100 वर्ष तक ले जाएगी.
A magnet for investment.
I'm actually incredibly excited about the future of India. I think India has more promise than any large country in the world.
The world is bullish on India. Moneycontrol is bullish on India. Join the campaign. Tweet to us with #MC Bullish on India.